So by the time I was 5, Harry Potter started being quite a big thing, and I was talking about it coming into a film, and Mum and Dad were told it was good, and so they bought it for me. Yeah, I was obsessed with it. So the day my mum was reading it to me and realised we'd be finishing the book that day, she called my dad up and said, she's going to finish it, get her the video, because again, I'm old and I know what videos were. And so Dad came home and I was just going to bed. He's like, I've got a present for you as a video, and I was just wanted to jump out of bed and go watch it straight away, even though it was about 9 o'clock and I was again 5. And so I slept with it by my side at night, and then I woke up straight thing and went to go put it on, and Dad was like, you're not watching it without us. It's always been there, as in, like, absent the first 3 years of my memory. Apart from that, it's been all of my life. I started the series when I was 5 and finished it when I'm 11, about to start secondary school. About to start the age Harry was when the first book happened. It's going to be such an influence over what you're doing, especially if you have to wait all that time, and if the books grow up as the story goes on, then it's going to grow up with you and shape you as you go along. Which probably why I haven't changed that much since I was about 11 or 12, but that's doesn't matter because I was quite mature at that age, because I grew up with the series in that mindset. And so in our class and stuff, I was still kind of the odd one out being all Harry Potter nerdy stuff. But that kind of added to my own identity growing up, because if anyone mentioned Harry Potter in class, everyone would turn to look at me, and I was like, okay, I'm just known as that person now. Which is a fine thing to be known as. But it was just, yeah, it can't not be part of your identity. That's what you're known as, the Harry Potter girl in school. And yeah, it's fun though. And yeah, as long as you embrace what that sort of thing is, you're going to be alright. And definitely have a little bit, a tiny bit, just smidgen all the Potterness. So if someone is obviously and unapologetically loving something, that's an easy target. Like, oh, they like a thing, let's destroy it. But no necessarily anything to back it up to. They're not there like, oh, you like Harry Potter, that's a dirty thing. So, what's wrong with that? Nothing to back it up against. But, you know, it leads to nicknames like goblins and Hagrids and stuff when you're running about, and that was always fun. And then there were things like, there are people who necessarily think what you like is childish when they themselves never tried it. And then there's the issues of even random strangers, like if you were dressed up in Harry Potter gear or something, that's something people would make fun of. Or if you were, say, on a Quidditch team, like I was on before. A friend of mine broke her arm, and she went to go tell them, and they just laughed at her, because they didn't think it was possible for anyone to get injured on, because they thought it was a stupid game that some nerds are playing. And my thing is, I think I'm certainly up there, but I will never say I'm the #1 Harry Potter fan, because that's a bold statement. I'm not going to make that bolder statement, because there's probably people who know more than I do, and like it more than I do. This will be few, but there will be more.
Shall I just insert montage?
Yes. Insert montage. Here. So, yeah. Big Supernatural fan. And as such, I researched all the things, I looked up at what people were doing. And I found out this thing called Gishwes, which is an international scavenger hunt that's done every year by one of the cast's main actors. Looked into it, and it's a charity event, so you pay to join it. And you do all these weird activities, and I thought, that sounds like the coolest thing that ever happened for a week to do that. And so I tried to gather as many of my friends as I could, through school, through my guides I was a part of at the time when I was, and my family, and created a Gishwes team. And I've never looked back since, basically. I've been doing it for 5 years annually now. So this year I like making Isabel's dress, which is a recycled dress, or a dress made out of recycled materials, that would look like you're going to a gala with the theme sparkle and shine. And I like the ones where you have to travel and you get to do meetups, things like that. And I like doing the 50s pin-up one. It was just fun animating the Queen to look like she was, like, you know, a slapper in the 30s or something. That was funny. And I made their faces out of chocolate this year. That's quite funny. All of my family who are participating in it, they usually take off a week of work. My aunt's a mental health nurse. My dad's is a high-up manager in an engineering company. They both are like, yeah, this is worth the reason to take a large part of my holiday off, is to spend a week of stress. And it gives you a chance to find out what is possible, because always things you never think of doing unless you pick the items. It's things that will either help other people's lives in terms of charity things or donations, or it will be things that are amazing memories. I think some of our best memories ever just hang out doing this sort of stuff, and certainly some of the best in-jokes are involved in this sort of thing. And all the money goes towards Random Acts, which is a charity set up by Misha Collins of Supernatural, which tries to save the world with random acts of kindness. I say at least a quarter of the items are to do with donating stuff to charities, to raising money, to raising awareness, to trying to stand against things that are clearly wrong in the world. You can see that you can raise this much money for charity if we all work together. We can change people's lives every single day just by deciding that, oh, I'm not going to send this stuff to the tip or put it in the bin. I'm going to send it to a refugee centre. I'm going to send it to some people who are in serious need. I'm going to donate stuff to food banks. It's the small things, and that's why there's always sanitary product item, because that's a big issue for people dealing with stuff. There's always a refugee item. There's always a LGBTQ item. There's usually a lot of political things as well, because the guy who runs at Misha is not shy when it comes to his political opinions. The internet has made a big influence on fandom culture, because it has made it more accessible to people, and it makes people more connected to other people. So you can, a lot of people on who are in fandom and stuff will be isolated. If you're on the internet, you're not. You'll find about several million people who are the same like-minded thing, even if it's really random. It's escapism a lot of the time. It allows you to not focus on the negatives of the world, which is a fun thing. Well, it's fun if, yes, you don't like it, but it's a distraction that, if it's really good, like Supernatural, like Harry Potter, it can carry on to the real world, so that makes a big difference in terms of coping in general, not just when you're like, I need distraction, where's the thing? I read Harry Potter, I can do this sort of thing. Because you can stand up in line for questions when you go to the conventions, and you go up and you say to the microphone, like, say, what's your favourite thing about being on Supernatural? Things like that. I went up to Sam in the queue to ask a question, but I didn't ask him a question, I just thanked him for doing the Always Keep Fighting thing, because I had gone through similar sort of stuff, and it just helped me out a lot. And yeah, that was nice, and I get a bit sweepy when I talk about things like this, so when I was doing that, I just broke down a tin tan a bit, especially as I was the first question of the panel, so that's a bit of pressure. But yeah, Jared's very sweet, and he came down from the stage and gave me a hug and stuff, and yeah, that was a big one. It's also about having good people around you, because some fandoms they don't have good people, and if you don't have that element, then it's gonna translate through the whole thing. And similarly, some fandoms are toxic because they are mainstream, or they're a bit old-fashioned, and so there is a deal of negativity from within, and that attacks people's mental health, and not the other way around. There was a big issue a couple of years ago, because some sites like 4chan, they like to target people. So at Christmas time, about 2 years ago, they decided that they were going to target suicide Supernatural fans on Tumblr. Wasn't good. But obviously, because it's the internet, it can't be tracked very well, and people weren't aware of it because it's kind of underground fandom and it can't be proved what's going on. It's just strange. I don't know why people do it. Yeah, it's weird.
Do you want me to stop?
That's fine. because there weren't really any UK-based conventions when I was younger. The main one was LeakyCon, which is a convention in America, and I really badly wanted to go, so badly, and the problem was, even if I could afford tickets, which were about £200 a piece, I'd have to afford airfare and hotel rooms, and it would be thousands of pounds. But I convinced myself I was going to try and earn as much as I could. I made a negotiation with my parents that if I did a odd job around the house, I'd earn like £1 or something for it. So I'd wake up about 6 in the morning so I could walk the dog in the morning, and then when I go home, walk her in the evening. That's £2 and done. And then if I had time after I walk the dog, I'd try and clean up the kitchen and that sort of thing. And then I did tea leaf reading at my aunt's house for her birthday. My parents, again, as the enablers they are, realised how much I was dedicated to this. And so they arranged us to make our family holiday to America, so that at the end of the holiday we could head to Chicago and go to the convention. So there'd be panels, there'd be karaoke sessions, there'd be meetups of just fans, not even necessarily the famous people, just people saying, oh, want to hang out at some point? Yeah, you were never bored, and there's always so many people around you that you could talk to. And then you just walk down the corridor and suddenly someone would randomly start singing Gonna Get Back to Hogwarts, and the entire room would start singing it, and then it would carry on the entire hotel, and then people would be like, what is going on here? Just normal people walking through the hotel who've clearly booked a room for that day. Which is a bad idea. But yeah, it's fun. Fandom has inspired me to create. I've done artwork. I have I've done good in the world, I think, through charity organisations and stuff. I have campaigned against things, and I have made a difference as a result. I had my own YouTube for a bit of an experimental thing, to try and just basically going off a lot of Harry Potter vloggers I liked and seeing if I could try and do similar sort of stuff, because I had lots of Harry Potter stuff. I knew lots of Harry Potter knowledge, and a lot of stuff I saw them doing I thought was fun. So I thought I'll try it out myself. Jess has been non-stop creative pretty much. Yeah, it's fun. I like it. I like to do creative things anywho, so it's always fun. If you worried about getting judged, that is something that is going to happen in every element of your life you're going to do. That's just a fact. People like to judge other people, whether it's for what you look like, how you act, how you talk, how you dress, and ultimately down to what you like. It's a matter of their problem versus yours. If you find something you love, you shouldn't be afraid of what people think about it and limit yourself and what you like with it to appease other people. If you like something, use it positively. Make sure it's something that you're doing it for you that will help your life and not hinder it. And if you ever feel like you're getting down from it, best place to turn is back to that fandom route, because there'll be people who support you, and if not, you need to find a better fandom because they're not good enough for you.
Will you be a fangirl for life?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you met me? What are you?